telling you lots of cool things.
About fire safety.
Did you know that every year hundreds of kids are hurt in fires?
But kids can do something to stop them too.
There's some cool rules about fire safety.
And if you learn them, you could be a deputy fire marshal! And even teach your family what to do.
Check out this free Deputy Fire Marshal's kit with cool stuff to help you. Did you know that many fires started because kids played with matches and lighters?
It's really sad, but fires started with matches and lighters hurt thousands of people last year.
Like parents and grandparents?
And brothers and sisters. If you ever see matches or lighters, don't touch them.
Uh-oh! Somebody left out matches and a lighter.
Remember,
Wow!
keep your eyes open, and if you see these, tell a grown-up right away. But never touch them, and you'll be a real superhero.
Like a deputy fire marshal?
Exactly.
Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown-up instead. Be cool about fire safety.
Sounds like a fire in progress. Let's check it out.
Who's a hydrant? What's happening?
We're not sure, but someone playing with matches may have started it.
That's terrible.
You know it, and it was out of control in just a few minutes. You guys need more water? Okay, here it comes. Whoa, whoa!
Hold on, Jose.
Whoa.
Hope you get that fire under control.
We'll check back with you later.
Muy bien. Very good, eh?
We'll check on that fire later. But now, here's something cool that can warn you about fire.
It's one of the most important safety devices you can have in your home. A smoke detector.
Ow! I hate smoke.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Thanks for warning us, Seymour.
That's my job. I hate smoke. It's disgusting. It gives me a headache. So whenever I see it or smell it, I make this noise to warn you. 'Cause where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Good tip, Seymour.
That's a different noise. What does that mean, Seymour?
Now, if you hear me chirping, that could mean two things. That could mean, well, all of a sudden you bought a bird that you didn't know about, or it could mean that my batteries are low. Go tell your parents that I need new batteries. How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Yeah, you count them. Is there one outside your bedroom? Is there? There should be. Tell your parents. You'll see more of me later.
Be cool about fire safety.
Do you know how to escape from your home if there's a fire?
You gotta have a plan.
They didn't have a plan.
But these people do. You gotta have a plan.
Grown-ups can make it, and firemen can help.
Okay, in case of a fire, you and your sister to go out this door.
Or we can always go out that way. We have 2 exits, okay?
We need 2 ways out.
You gotta have a meeting place.
So make sure your family has an escape plan.
Whether you live in a house or a building.
And remember, practice makes perfect.
It could save your life.
And your family.
So tell your parents, we gotta have a plan.
You gotta have an escape plan, and you'll be a step ahead. Be cool about fire safety.
still trying to put out this fire. It's a hard job, but it's our job, not yours. If you're in a fire, don't try to put it out. It's your job to get away. Here are some other don'ts to remember. Don't take time to save your toys or pets. Don't get in an elevator. And don't ever, please, don't ever go back into a burning house. Fires can be very scary. Even firemen get scared sometimes. So it's only natural. Kids would be scared too. Especially if they might have started the fire. But no matter what, no matter how scared you feel, never, never, ever hide. Don't hide. Go outside. Can you remember that? Don't hide. Go outside. If you see someone that looks like this, don't be scared. Firemen have to wear all this strange-looking stuff to protect themselves. Like masks to help them breathe.
It makes us look and sound weird and scary.
But really, we're not. So don't be afraid of us. Be afraid of fire. And remember, even if you're afraid, don't hide. Go outside.
Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. Be cool about fire safety.
See more smoke, the smoke detector here. And you know, hey, up here, point to the one who's talking. Boy, these cameramen don't know anything. Anyway, I have another cool rule about fire safety. Do you know how to escape a fire? No, you don't. I'll bet you don't. Well, would you believe you could learn the answer from a baby? You could. You really could. Just pay attention.
Even they know no matter how small, you gotta fall and you gotta crawl. If you get caught in a fire, here's what you should know. Get down on your knees and you remember, please, to keep your body low. You just got to fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. If it gets smoky around you, so cloudy that you can see, just cover your face and get out of that place and fall and crawl just like me. You just got to fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. It may sound crazy, but crawl like a baby. Get down on your knees and remember, you gotta fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of that fire.
A fire, it's an emergency! A time to call for help! As soon as you get out of your house, go to a neighbor's house and call the local emergency number. Do you know yours?
Quick! What's the number for 911? How do I know?
Hello? Mr. Repairman, all the machines in my house are acting weird. I mean, the vacuum cleaner is supposed to sound like... But right now it sounds like... marbles. And the blender, well, last night the cat turned it on. And the washing machine? Oh, forget about the washing machine. It sounds like... Kids, could you answer the door, please? Thanks.
Help! It's an emergency! Dad, it's Billy! It's an emergency!
Hey, well, I have an emergency. My house is nuts.
But Mr. Winslow, my house is on fire!
Why didn't you say so? Goodbye.
I have to call 911!
Come on.
911, I have to report a fire. 18 April. You're on your way? Thanks!
Don't worry, Billy. Pretty soon you'll be hearing...
always go to a neighbor's house and call 911.
Or your local emergency number.
Ask a grown-up what number you should call.
Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. You gotta race to a neighbor's place and dial 911.
What would you do if you were on fire? I don't know. Jump in a tub? No, you gotta stop, drop, and roll. Come on.
If your clothes got fire, you gotta drop to the ground. If your clothes got fire, you gotta roll round and round. You just stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. You gotta stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Get down on the ground and stop, drop, and roll. Get down on the ground and don't you ever stand. Roll round and round and cover your face with your hands. You just stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. You gotta stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Get down on the ground and stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
Jose Hydrant, is that fire out yet?
Oh, Chuck, Sue, I'm pooped. The fire is finally under control. It took hours to put out what started in a couple of minutes.
That house looks pretty bad.
What's left of it?
At least no one was hurt. This time, they had an escape plan.
Great, that was smart.
We've all got to work together to stop fires. That means you, Deputy Fire Marshals.
Don't touch matches.
If you see these, tell a grown-up right away.
You gotta have a plan.
Don't hide. Go outside.
You gotta fall and you gotta crawl.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Hey! Holy smokes! What about me? Everyone should see more smoke detectors in their home.
You're right, Seymour the smoke detector.
See more smoke detectors.
Learn these cool rules and you could be the deputy fire marshal in your home.
And get your free Deputy Fire Marshal's kit.
So long for now, deputy fire marshals.
And remember, be cool about fire safety.
Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown-up instead. You gotta have an escape plan, and you'll be a step ahead. Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. You gotta race to a neighbor's place and dial 911. Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. You need smoke detectors that everyone can hear.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them.
Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. Remember that where there's fire, there's gonna be a lot of smoke. Fall and crawl and cover your mouth, 'cause smoke can make you choke. Be cool about fire safety.
Adios.
Be cool about fire safety. 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 Be cool about fire safety.
James Byman was just 2 years old when carbon monoxide from a faulty duct nearly killed him. Firefighter Warren Grant was first on the scene.
He just seemed so small and defenseless there, sitting on his mom's lap, not responding the way he should be. And it sort of tugs at you.
He didn't even stir, and that's when it got really scary. And then the firemen came over, and they, once again, shook him, talked to him, picked him up, and he still wasn't responsive.
It was emotional because I have kids of my own, and all that goes through your mind.
The evening James Byman was poisoned by carbon monoxide began as a typical night.
The strange thing was, it was such a peaceful night in our home. All the kids were sleeping soundly, I was downstairs relaxing, and everything seemed, it was snowing out, it was just a perfect winter night.
Or so it seemed. Because what seemed to be a typical night to Jim and Lori Byman was anything but.
I suddenly heard a detector go off, and of course I thought it was the smoke alarm because I had never had a problem with carbon monoxide in my house.
The carbon monoxide alarm was right outside the bedrooms.
But his door was closed and the vent was blowing right into his room.
Right over his bed. It was, when you think about the worst case scenario, that was it. Having your child under the vent, with all the carbon monoxide blowing on top of him, with the door shut, in an airtight house.
So she called the fire department.
They immediately responded over the phone and said, well, immediately get everybody down to an open ventilated area, open all the doors and the windows, and get everybody safe, and we'll be right there. The vulnerability and the feeling of helplessness was terrible. And just listening to the firemen running through the house and testing it and hearing them say that, well, we can't wake the children, the little boys having a hard time waking up, it was really a traumatic experience.
Less traumatic because they did have a UL-listed carbon monoxide alarm and firefighters who knew how to respond.
It was really a combination of the two. The carbon monoxide detector was what alerted us to the problem, but the firemen were really right on the spot, ready to give us answers, and took care of what to do in an emergency situation.
The CO calls are one of the trickiest because you really never know what's going to happen. Without the carbon monoxide detector going off, we wouldn't never have been called to the house at that time.
Even after the alarm sounded, Lori said she was embarrassed to call for help because she thought it was nothing.
When the carbon monoxide detector went off, we didn't take it quite as seriously as we probably should have, but the firemen took it serious. As soon as Lori made the call, they immediately reacted.
It's extremely important for firefighters to get training and being able to test for carbon monoxide, especially with the air in the home. Without that training and without specific detection equipment, it's extremely difficult for even us to recognize the carbon monoxide poisoning.
Which reinforces that carbon monoxide alarms are just as important as smoke alarms.
Okay, let me tell you a little bit about the technology as we understand it.
And that special training on responding to carbon monoxide poisoning is crucial.
With a smoke detector going off, normally you can identify what's gone wrong. With a CO detector, when it goes off, you're still not going to be able to see anything, you're still not going to be able to smell anything.
You don't sense anything, you don't see anything, you can't feel any different than you would normally after a hard day of working.
Making it critical to believe the alarm.
Technology has advanced both smoke detectors and CO detectors to a level now where we need to encourage the citizen to have more confidence in them.
Those advances include changes to Underwriters Laboratories Standard 2034, which governs single and multiple station carbon monoxide alarms. UL continues to require that detailed instructions be listed on the product and in the manufacturer's instruction booklet to advise people what to do when a carbon monoxide alarm sounds. The alarms are designed to sound before most people would have adverse effects of carbon monoxide poisoning. Under the revised standard, UL-listed carbon monoxide alarms are required to sound an 85 decibel alarm signal within 189 minutes, or 3 hours, 9 minutes, if 70 parts per million carbon monoxide is present, within 50 minutes if 150 parts per million CO is present, and within 15 minutes if 400 parts per million is present.
As standards get better, technology gets better. It requires the manufacturer to develop a better product. We're now into our third generation of CO detectors, and they're better than what they used to be. The firefighter has more confidence in those systems, and the citizens are having more confidence in the systems. And normally now when we respond to one, we do find problems in the home.
UL-listed carbon monoxide alarms are now required to ignore low-level concentrations of carbon monoxide of 30 parts per million for at least 30 days without sounding an alarm signal. They now also are required to ignore concentration levels of 70 parts per million or less for at least 1 hour before sounding an alarm. There are many different carbon monoxide alarms on the market. First Alert, for instance, offers a new digital peak readout carbon monoxide alarm, which allows homeowners to check the highest level of carbon monoxide detected since the last reading was cleared from memory. A combination smoke and carbon monoxide alarm powered by a single 9-volt battery. A replaceable battery carbon monoxide alarm which requires no installation and can be placed on a tabletop or shelf. Unlike earlier versions, the new battery-operated models have permanently installed sensors. Of course, proper placement and installation of carbon monoxide alarms is vital because improperly placed units can cause nuisance alarms.
With the more recent generation of the CO detector and technology getting better, we're finding ourselves responding to less what I would classify false alarms now than what we used to. The fire service is changing today, and we're extremely heavy into customer service. Our job is to help our citizens with any type of dilemma that they may find themselves in, whether it's swimming safety, whether it's fire prevention, whether it's seatbelt safety, smoke detectors, or CO detectors.
We were extremely grateful that Warren knew exactly what to do, that he had obviously had some training with carbon monoxide, knew how to react, and had a very professional approach to understanding the problem and dealing with the problem right away.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that we had carbon monoxide in our house that day. It was really scary to realize how close we came to dying.